Games new to me. Please like and subscribe.
Hey guys, Rob here for Games New to Me. Welcome back and glad to have you for what will undoubtedly, and I'm not kidding this time, be a head-scratchingly stellar video. Trust me, this is one of the strangest stories I've come across, and I think it's one of the strangest stories you're likely to hear in quite some time. So, virtual reality has been dominating a lot of news ever since consumer VR has become a reality. From the Oculus Rift to the HTC Vive to the PlayStation VR and even Google Cardboard, virtual reality seems to be everywhere. Here's a use of VR I had not anticipated and can't imagine what this form of VR experience would even be like. So, let me set the stage for you. So, Professor Sergio Cannavaro, I think that's how you say the name, an Italian neurosurgeon, has a VR experience that he's apparently developed at this point for one very specific patient. No, Dr. Cannavaro is not using VR to help people with post-traumatic stress disorder, though I wouldn't blame you if you thought that that's what this is about, as VR has shown to help some with their PTSD, and that's just a proven fact. No, Dr. Cannavaro is having one very specific patient use VR to prepare him for a very special type of surgery. What is Dr. Cannavaro planning in regards to surgery on this mysterious patient? Well, it's nothing too strange. He just wants to transplant the patient's head onto another body. A donated, brain-dead human body, that is. That's right, the patient is having VR experiences to prepare him for being decapitated and his head stitched onto another human body. If you're having visions of Futurama, don't worry, you're certainly not alone in that one. Professor Cannavaro is determined to perform the operation in 2017 on wheelchair user Valerie, and forgive me, I'm going to butcher this name, Spiridonov, that's a hard name to pronounce, Spiridonov, who runs an educational software company in Russia and suffers from the muscle-wasting Werdnig-Hoffman disease. What is Werdnig-Hoffman disease, you may ask? Werdnig-Hoffman disease is a rare form of spinal muscular atrophy, SMA, presenting in infants. It is an autosomal recessive condition characterized by the degeneration of anterior horn cells, leading to profound symmetrical weakness and wasting of voluntary muscle. Wow, that was hard to say and hard to understand. But in other words, due to this disease, the muscles in the body are wasting away, which will likely result in the patient's eventual death from the disease. So how is this surgery going to take place? How is it going to work? Well, surgeons will slice through the spinal cords of both Spiridonov and the brain-dead donor using a $200,000 custom-made diamond nanoblade that can control cuts to a micrometer. Okay, that's pretty exact. After this part of the operation, the transplant must be completed within an hour, at which point the blood from this new body will theoretically raise Spiridonov's head back to normal temperatures. Now, I hadn't mentioned how the head of this person will be kept alive during the operation. In all honesty, technically, the head will be drained of all blood, brought to near freezing, so that a state of suspended animation can take place, but for all intents and purposes, this patient will be dead for the duration of the surgery. I mean, no blood, no respiration, no heartbeat. Well, how can you have a heartbeat if you don't have a body? That's pretty much as dead can be, except for the cold, which is supposed to preserve the cells from dying and leave the possibility open for resuscitation after surgery. But speaking of the surgery, Professor Cannavaro will only have about an hour to complete the bulk of this transplant if there is to be any hope of reviving the person's almost frozen head on the new body. I know this all sounds like Dr. Frankenstein type stuff, but apparently this is real, and it's going to happen. If the professor pulls this off, he will have progressed science to places it has never ever been before, And I think we can all agree on that one. Now, doctors around the world are claiming that the chances of such surgery succeeding are minimal at best. Though, if it were a success, many also claim that the person will be subject to the kind of psychological breakdown the likes of which nobody, and I mean nobody, in all of human history has ever experienced before. We're talking about a head on a new body. Think about that for a second. Professor Canavero isn't just going to take a stab in the dark with this procedure, as it were. He claims, and one can only assume that he's not making this up, that he has transplanted the head of a dog and that of a monkey. A couple of possible surgeons who will be assisting Professor Canavero have also had experience in transplanting the heads of, quote, thousands of mice. As for the virtual reality program that is to be used on the patient, bioengineering technology has created a new VR system that will help acclimatize the patient to the sensation of having a different body and being able to walk. Precise details of the VR experience are unclear, but we do know that Spiridonov will require months of sessions before the operation takes place. Quote, "We are combining the latest advancements in virtual reality to develop the world's first protocol for preparing the patient for bodily freedom after the transplantation procedure," said Inventum CEO Alexander Pavlovtsik. I don't know how to say that name either. I'm sorry, I butchered it. But let's move on. Let's give the final word to Dr. Hunt Batjer. Batjer? Batjer. President of the American Association for Neurological Surgeons. Quote, "I would not wish this on anyone. I would not allow anyone to do it to me, as there are a lot of things worse than death." Unquote. So I don't know. All of this sounds pretty terrifying. I can't even begin to imagine waking up from surgery with an entirely new body. I haven't a clue if the newly created patient will have use of the limbs of the new body and whether pain receptors and nerve endings will be able to send sensory information back to the new brain, or the new pilot, if you will, of the body. I have to say, if this surgery is successful, and furthermore, if the patient would have use of the new body's limbs, yeah, wow, it would be a breakthrough in medicine like few others, as it would lead to new possibilities for people with partial or full paralysis. I mean, if you can transplant a head to a new body and have everything work, then repairing the connections in a damaged spinal cord should be far lower on the scale of difficulty, or at least that's this layman's opinion. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me for this oddball story, and it is extremely odd. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to read more about it. I'd like to thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. To my subscribers, I thank you for being subscribers and for just being an awesome, supportive, and very funny community of gamers. You guys rock. If you just stumbled across this video, won't you please click that brightly colored subscribe button and give me a chance to win you over? You'll be helping to grow the previously mentioned amazing community surrounding this channel. You'll definitely have my gratitude, but most importantly, you'll always be notified whenever a new video goes up on the channel. This is Rob for Games New to Me saying, given the choice between this type of surgery or death, I'm honestly not sure which I would pick. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, guys, be good to each other, and I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.